Welcome to the Happy Black Woman Podcast, where we're on a mission to empower women to transform their lives through personal development and entrepreneurship. We bring you all the information, inspiration, and motivation you need to create a life of happiness, success, and freedom. Now, please welcome your host, the happy Black woman herself, Rosetta Thurman.
Hello and welcome back to the Happy Black Woman Podcast. This is Rosetta, and as you can tell, I have been so excited doing all of our fabulous interviews with our fabulous Black women entrepreneurs for this month's features. And today is no different. I am over the moon to bring to you someone that I have had the pleasure of meeting and learning from. And I know she's going to pour into you today with her wisdom around all things business and lifestyle. So you are going to be hearing from Zenovia Andrews today. And some of you may have heard of her. Some of you, this may be your first introduction. So you can go on our websites to our show notes and read all about her in her bio and check out her site and those links. But for now, we're just going to dive right in and welcome Zenovia.
Wow. Hello. I am so super excited to be with you. This is just absolutely incredible. I thank you so much, Rosetta. I'm excited to be able to speak with your community and speak with your amazing followers. So this is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're so glad to have you. I know that it's hard to pull people like you away from your everyday that you do and all the roles and the hats that you wear. And we'll talk about that today. But just wanted to share with everyone else how I met Zenovia in person was at Dr. Venus's Black Women Millionaires event in Atlanta. And some of you have heard Dr. Venus's interview and other people that I've met through her. And I just want to reiterate that you really do need to surround yourself with really great people because they introduce you to other great people. And Zenovia is no different. She really stood on stage and told her story. And I said, you know what? She should be on our list for her to come on the podcast and share with you all. So that's our connection. And to jump right in, Zenovia, can you tell us a little bit about your mission and the work that you do?
Absolutely. You had me thinking about what you said about how we met, and, it goes hand in hand with my mission. As an entrepreneur, as a CEO, my mission is to connect with other like-minded, superheroic female entrepreneurs or women in general, just to encourage them, no matter if you are a mom, an entrepreneur, an executive, no matter where you live, no matter what race you are, that I believe that we should live a life that's maxed out. Because for so many years, I lived my life on autopilot. And it was just kind of going through the motions. But one day it was just, something happened. And I was like, I'm no longer going to live my life as a mediocre. As mediocrity. I'm going to live it to the max. And so our mission with the Maxilla Group is to help entrepreneurs, women, executives all over the world not to settle for mediocrity and to just rejuvenate their passion for living. And we provoke them to actually maximize their God-given potential that's lying dormant inside of them. So it's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. It sounds very exciting, and I love that you explained the name of your company because living life to the max is something that I know all the women in our Happy Black Woman tribe want to do in different areas of their lives. So tell me, Zenovia, how did you come to create this type of business? I mean, the way you described it, it sounds like there is some personal experience or some personal goal that you had to really do this kind of work as a calling, a career, and a business. So tell us what brought you to this work.
So I am the CEO of the Maxilla Group. It's a training and development company. So basically, we implement systems that attract more customers, we generate more revenue, and we save you massive amounts of time. I mean, how many of us couldn't use more time in the day, especially women? Like we play so many roles, we have so many different hats, and that's the big thing for us, And so as a result of working with our company, entrepreneurs, executives, coaches, they grow their businesses by 50% within 1 year by leveraging our mastery in systems and automation. And so I've been doing this for about 7 years. And prior to that, I worked for the number number one pharmaceutical company in the world, and that's Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. I did that for about 12 years. I've had major success over the last, I would say at least the last 15 years of my life. I'm 40 now, and I have to be honest with you, Rosetta, it has not always been peaches and cream. Like I look now and I work so super hard, but I haven't always made the money that I make now. I haven't always generated the revenue. I haven't always felt great how I feel right now. I have a story like anyone else. And for those of you that are listening and you're not familiar with my company, I was abandoned at a very young age. And for so many years, I had that conversation in my head, Rosetta, that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. The whole, just condemning yourself, second guessing yourself, not believing in yourself, not maxing who you are out. And for so many years, it really paralyzed me, and it made me not truly walk in my true calling. I wasn't confident, and I second guessed myself because of someone else's decision. How many times have we allowed someone else's decisions to affect us and to poison what we know we were created to do and what we know we were created for? And so, in addition to that, not only was I abandoned, was extremely, extremely financially challenged, I'll say, very humble beginnings. And I could tell you some stories where we shared, there was one nightstand where all of our undergarments and our socks were in one drawer for 5 kids, like one little top drawer. And it was bad. But at the end of the day, we were loved. And I was taught to work hard. Like I knew, people ask me all the time, Zenovia, when was it for you that the light bulb or something happened to where you said, you know what, there's gonna have to be a shift. Something has to change. And for me, living in that state, living in that environment, going to my other friend's house and they had different things, and not that it was all about material objects, but it was the basics that we didn't have. I just knew that there was more. And again, we were loved, but we just didn't have what we didn't have. And so for me, watching my family, parts of my family, they slept on the floor for years and years and years because we just didn't have enough money to buy a bed. And there wasn't another room for someone to sleep in. And so it was just living in that. So I went to college. I played college basketball, and I ended up graduating, and I started in the pharmaceutical industry, like I shared with you in the beginning. I won every award possible. And so that very thing that could have, I was raised in a population of 200 people. Wow. Talk about small, right? Small town girl. And every odd was against me if you look at the numbers. And I was very focused. I was very determined to give it all I had. Like sometimes we just got to give it all we have. And so once I did that, success was right there. It was right there waiting for me. So
everyone has a story, like you said, and I think that many people would be hard pressed to look at you now and know how you got here. So I appreciate you sharing that backstory. And I know that I'm curious, and our listeners are curious about, between then and now, what are some of the action steps that you took and that you teach business owners now that support that maxed out lifestyle? Like, I know that ladies are listening now and they're wondering, like, how do I get from here to there, like you did? And then you created this business to support business owners to live that maxed out lifestyle. Like, what are some specific action steps that you can share that you took to get from there to here?
Yep, absolutely. So one of the things that I didn't share to wrap that story up in a nice bow tie is that, as a result of the hard work, now I live in a space where I'm not challenged financially. I mean, of course, we all want to make more money, but I'm okay. I'm okay. At the age of how old was I when my husband and we made our first $1 million? I was 32 years old, and we made our first $1 million, and it felt phenomenal. It felt incredible. And so some of the application steps that I embraced, that my husband and we embraced, was the first thing is that we knew the importance of vision. We knew that in order to have vision, you've got to be fully persuaded, Rosetta, that what you believe, what you've been dreaming about, what you've been praying for, that it's possible. So you have to be fully persuaded. Like, you've got to be crazy about it. Like, you've got to be so fully persuaded that on the outside, it looks ridiculous. It looks like you've lost your mind. You've bumped your head. There's no way. But you know that it's possible. And so it all starts with vision, being fully persuaded that what you don't currently have now, you can see it, you can taste it, you can actually you can see the formation of it, but you have the vision to know that it's possible. And so that's the first thing. Having an economic goal, like, what are your economic goals? Like, what does that look like? Where do you see yourself financially? I used to, in regards to writing my goals down financially, I would write just a couple of things, just the big things, the big major things. But now, Rosetta, I write everything down. So, the fun thing about creating lists in regards to your economic plan is you get to mark them off. Like, how cool is it once you achieve a financial goal, you get to mark it off. And so I write down everything. I have financial goals, which are critically important. It gives me something to strive for. And then I behoove you not to share with you that I definitely have a plan. It says in one of my favorite books in the world, those without a vision, without a plan, we will perish. We'll die. And so you have to have a plan. You have to not only have a plan, but you have to have a strategy behind the plan.
Right.
With that plan, you have a brilliant strategy, and we have access to everything we need. And I say that confidently in regards to Google. Mm-hmm. It's all about how resourceful you are to find what you're looking for, to get what you need. It's a tap, it's a click away on your computer. And so I share with my customers, some of my clients, I share with them that the most valuable commodity, in my opinion today, is information. You create the desire and the need for someone to want you and want what you have to offer by how resourceful you are in educating yourself with information.
Yeah. So you mentioned, setting that economic goal, having that vision, and, leveraging all the tools that we have at our disposal. I know that a lot of the ladies listening, they're listening to your story and they're hearing it and they're like, oh yeah, I would love to make my first million, but I haven't even made my first 100. So is there anything that you would say in terms of where someone could start from, having the vision, having the economic goal, what, with the clients that you work with, how would you advise them just to get started and start to see some momentum so they can keep moving forward?
Yeah, the first thing that I really encourage my clients, because when you get to me, by the time you get to me as a client, we do full implementation. So it's a little different from the consulting, coaching world. We actually build the brands, we build the business, we build the marketing campaigns and the funnels for our clients. So you have to be clear. You have to have clarity in what it is that you do and the relevancy of what you do. So you want to make sure that you're clear on your business niche, your business purpose, and the problem that you solve that creates relevancy of why someone would even want to work with you in the beginning, in the first place. The biggest problem is that, it may be a great idea in your head or in my head, but is it truly relevant? Is it solving a problem? Do I need what you're talking about? Or do I need what you offer? So I would say in the beginning, just to get started, to really get crystal clear and have clarity around your purpose, your business, your idea, to make sure that it's relevant in the market. And just because it may be relevant or it sounds good to you, doesn't mean that it solves a problem for someone else. So I would definitely say get clear before you start with anything in business.
That is such a great tip around, the ideas that people come up with, and people wonder, why is this a great idea and no one wants it? And it may just be that, you just need to get a different idea, get a new idea, right, or tweak your idea. It doesn't mean that you're not cut out for business. It just means that you need a new idea. And I know that we all are so brilliant and talented that we have a lot of ideas. So I love that you shared that it does need to be relevant to the marketplace, because without customers, you don't have a business.
Right.
Yeah. So, Zenovia, I am also very curious about how you manage this maxed out business and lifestyle that you shared with us. So what does a typical day look like in your world where you can stay productive and, really be in all the roles that you have as a woman, as a wife, and all of that? What does a typical day look like for you?
So I'm going to be absolutely transparent, Rosetta, like so transparent, because I think the question is so valuable right now with the conversation with the happy woman. I honestly don't teach balance. Yeah. I don't believe in balance. I honestly do not. I believe in the pursuit of priorities in life, because what's important today may not be important tomorrow or next month. So if I look at what I'm doing from a 24-hour, day, what is the most important thing that I could be doing that's going to generate the highest return financially, spiritually, emotionally, peace, like the whole holistically? What does that look like? And so I believe in setting priorities around my life. And so for a typical day for me, I'm going to be honest, it is crazy. It's crazy. It's so crazy. So I've been married for 19 years. Well, this July will be 19 years. I have 2 children. I have a 9-year-old and a 15-year-old. I run $2 million companies. I'm also heavily involved in ministry. I have a company where I have at least 60 VIP implementing clients. So my company, we implement their work for them. There's never a dull moment. I always feel like, I'm going to be honest, I always feel like I'm a day late, a dollar short. Like I can never keep up.
It's not just me.
and I know that that's the season that God has me in now. And so I dare not complain for what I prayed for. I dare not complain about having so many amazing clients that I love to serve. I love to help them build their business, build their brand. And I remember a time, 8 or 9 years ago before I started this company, I prayed for clients. I prayed to be busy. I prayed to have, I need more employees, and now I have it. So I dare not complain about it. And so my day is crazy. I wake up early in the morning. I still cook. I have support. I have someone that is here. I have 2 people that are here with me all day that cook. I have someone here that cleans all day. I live in a 10,000 square foot home. So of course I can't do that myself and run my business. I have staff at my office. I have an office space at my home as well. So some of my staff, they come here, and I work on average. I'm going to be honest with you. I work probably about 16 hours a day, 16, 17 hours a day, but I sleep. So I have a late schedule where I stay up late, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but I sleep in sometimes in the morning if I can juggle it with my support staff or my husband if he's in town from traveling. So it works. I definitely make sure I get my rest because I need at least, and that's what you have to be clear. You've got to be clear on what it is that you need at a minimum. I need a minimum of 6 to 7 hours of sleep, a minimum of 6 to 7 hours of sleep. So for me, that's what I strive for. I work out majority, at least 5 days out of the week. I was going to say every day, but some weeks it's 5 and not 7. I'm an avid runner. I love to exercise. I eat really healthy. And I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. And so it doesn't feel like work,
Yeah, I mean, I love that you are so honest about your schedule, because for those ladies listening who are looking at your lifestyle and your business and saying, I want that, you really want to be clear about what it takes. And,
Right.
people who really feel like they have to clean their own house, when your business gets to be that size, do you really want to spend your $1 million brain on, scrubbing the floors? Probably not. So I love that you're the second guest who's come on and shared that, you had help around the house. I know that with people like my grandmother, she would frown upon that. And even you don't fix your man's plate and all of that kind of old school stuff. It's like, Grandma, like I paid for the plate. Like, do I really need to fix it too?
Right. You're so right. And it's like whatever works because everybody's home is different.
Right.
So it's like, if my husband's good with it, then it's cool. And I will say this too, Rosetta, if you let me. One of the things that I have, I'm gonna be honest, it rubs me some kind of way when I hear people say, well, I'm ready to make my first million, or I want to be a millionaire. And then they're like, I'm not answering emails throughout the day, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do. I'm here to tell you, to make your first million, it's the hardest ever. You're going to have to do some things that you don't want to do. Yeah. So if you've put your mind in a space where you've got all these limitations because you're trying to be balanced, making your first million is hard as heck. It's hard. And so just be willing to get your knees scrubbed a little bit and elbows, banged up, and be willing to do the work, because it's going to take the work. It's going to take work. And then after you make the first million, then you can kind of chill and set your systems up, and you can set your infrastructure up where you have, quote unquote, as they say, the balance, which whatever, but yeah. You can set it up.
Well, you have more choices. I mean, because one of the big challenges that I hear a lot from ladies in our community is they don't have the revenue to hire any support staff. But once you do, now you get to decide, do you want to have people in your home helping you out? Do you want to outsource to different things and all of that? But without the revenue, you are the one doing everything. And so I love that you brought that out, because I know a lot of people come into it thinking it's going to be very different than working a job, but it's not. You got to work for it. Just like you start out at entry level, you got to work your way up. You got to do the same thing in your business. Yeah. What's so exciting about you, Zenovia, is that, if all of us could do $1 million businesses and still be as graceful and fabulous as you, I think it's something to strive for.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great tips. And I loved hearing about your day. So I know that we're getting close to our inspiration round here, but I just want to ask one more question about your typical week. So you are married. So how do you fit in, quality time with your husband throughout your crazy weeks?
Like I said earlier, it's kind of, everyone's home is different. And my husband's been with me since we've been together since I was 18 years old, and he's still my best friend. I love him so much. Does he get on my nerves, Rosetta? Yes, he does sometimes, right? I believe if you don't feed something or nurture something, it will die. If you don't feed it or nurture it or give it attention, it will die. So I don't want that. We have to make a decision. So there's little things that we do to stay connected. We love to travel. When I travel, 50% of the time, I coincide my schedule with his just so that we can travel together. That's time that we spend together. And then also here at the house, we exercise together. He likes to run. He only started running because I have a passion for it. So we try to find things that, even if we don't have a natural love for it, we'll do it as a sacrifice to be able to spend time with each other. It's really important. Like when your husband is not right, or the home isn't right, you can't think, you can't focus, you can't do anything. It's like that. It's just not working. You can't flow. You're not creative. And so it's good to have that harmony at home, and so that should definitely be your number one priority, is getting them on board. And some of the things that my husband and I, people ask us all the time, like, how do you all, because we work in business together, both companies, we work together, our healthcare consulting company and my training and development company, we work together. And they're like, how do you all do it? We play two different roles. We are CEO and COO, business partners, and then we're lovers for life. Like, we love each other and dearly. And so it works. It's communication for sure. Gotta have that. And just be absolutely honest. Like, be honest. So many times we're not honest. And then allow yourself to not, know that you're not going to always be happy, and be quick to forgive, Just be quick to forgive. And when I say you're not going to always be happy, meaning that in the relationship, no one is happy 100% of the time.
Right.
So yeah.
Great advice for all of our married and soon to be married ladies on the line that think that you can't have it all. You can't have the business success and the marriage too. That's just not the case. So I love picking people's brains because I'm not married yet. And I'm like, I wonder how it works when that time comes. So thank you for that. And going into our inspiration round, I would love to know along your journey in your career and building businesses and really achieving the level of success that you have, is there a favorite book that you go to inspire you and keep you on the right track? Is there a favorite book you can share with us?
Well, honestly, my husband is more of the inspirational, transformational reader. I am a business bookworm. Like, I love anything that is dealing with strategy, it's like the how-tos. So right now, I've been reading a book called Scaling Up by Vern Harnish. Absolutely awesome. And then my book before this one was Click Millionaires. It's called Click Millionaires. Basically, it's online marketing, tells you different little tricks with Google and creating online campaign marketing ads. Just the whole kind of the Google Analytics, setting up, the retargeting, the segmenting, and all the little fun stuff that I love, the technology side of me that I love. So those are two most recent books that I absolutely I've been in and I've been enjoying lately.
So I also love that, a lot of people think women are the ones who read all the inspirational books, and with you and your husband is kind of the opposite. You're, on the strategy and scaling up, and he's the one reading The Alchemist.
Exactly.
That's cool. So when you look back too, I love having a personal mantra. I pick one every year, and sometimes it's a quote, sometimes it's a saying or a proverb. Do you have a motto that you live by that you can share with us?
I do. That's such a great question. So my motto is winning on your level. Winning on your level. No one else's level, winning on your level. The reason why that's my motto is that it liberates me. It gives me freedom to be who I am to be and who I was created to be. It allows me to stay in my lane. It supports me not to compare myself to anyone else. It supports me to congratulate myself and celebrate my small wins. It allows me to be happy, as you would say, the happy woman. It allows me to be happy with where I am and who I am. So winning on your level, nobody else's level, your level.
Really underscores what we've been talking about a lot in these interviews, which is that everyone's vision, is not going to look the same. And when you compare to someone else, it can make you feel like yours is not enough or it's not right. And, knowing that you can win on your level and on your terms is really empowering. So thank you for sharing that motto with us. Looking at our audience, a lot of the ladies listening are just starting out in business. They're just getting that idea. They're just figuring out that, hey, I could, maybe make money doing what I love. So what's the number one tip that you would give to the woman listening who is like, man, I want to do this, but I need a little push. So what would be that number one piece of advice you would give her?
I would share with her the importance of writing what that idea or that dream looks like. Just write it down, nothing extravagant. And then just take the first step in doing something. If it's, starting to do your research, or if it's maybe getting a consultant or a coach, or maybe it's you going to school to get a trade, or, whatever it is, just take the step. Even if you're not clear and have all the I's dotted, the T's crossed, even if everything isn't laid out, A to Z, you're not clear on everything, but just move forward and trust that as you are walking by faith, every step of the way, each step is going to create greater clarity for yourself. And no one knows. Like at the beginning of the year, I'm sure you too, Rosetta, we create these massive, tremendous knees knocking, teeth chattering goals. And I promise you, my goals that I have by March of this year, I'm like, it's weighty. It's crazy. And so I don't even know how it's going to happen, but by faith, I'm believing that it's so, and I'm moving forward. moving forward in it.
You can see how you can start to see a little bit more of the path as you keep moving forward, and it just does take faith to keep taking those steps even when you don't know exactly how it's all going to turn out. So great tip, great advice for our ladies here. And I know that we've just picked a little fraction of your brain and your wisdom. So how can the ladies listening stay in touch with you, get some more of your tips, your information? Is there a place that they can go to sign up to learn more from you?
Yes, thank you so much. I want to give everyone a free copy of my #1 bestseller. It's called All Systems Go, a solid blueprint to build business and maximize cash flow. Again, it's called All Systems Go, a solid blueprint to build business and maximize cash flow. If they go to allsystemsgobook.com, they can have access to the book for absolutely free. It's All Systems, ALL Systems, gobook.com.
Wonderful. How generous of you to give that away. I remember, I think I downloaded it back in June at the Atlanta event when I think you mentioned it there. And I was like, wow, I got to get into this. And I remember wondering why you put so much value in a free book. And I said, man, it'd be really hard not to want to work with this woman after you read what she has to say and the strategy that she has. I mean, it's very clear that you have a strategic mind. So thank you for sharing that with us for free. It's so generous of you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So you guys can go to allsystemsgobook.com, and we're going to put the link in the show notes so you can go ahead and check that out and start your relationship with Zenovia, because I know it's not the last time that you're going to want to connect with her. So thank you for your time, Zenovia. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. This has been phenomenal. I've truly, truly enjoyed it. It's like time went by so fast.
I know. It always does. But throughout the year, there'll be so many ways for our ladies to connect with you and really get to see you up close and in person, because it was so magical hearing you at the event. So thank you again for being with us. And ladies, if you have not had the chance to listen to our previous interviews in this series, you are really missing out. Zenovia is just one of our incredible wise minds. You could call them your virtual mentors here this month that we've been featuring. So please go back and listen to the other episodes. And if you want to get Zenovia's book recommendations, a link to her book, and all the great notes from today's show, you can go to happyblackwomanpodcast.com. Until next time, I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Happy Black Woman Podcast. If you want all the show's notes from today's episode, go to happyblackwomanpodcast.com. Plus, we'll send you a copy of Rosetta's free life mapping workbook. We look forward to empowering you next time. And until then, do something this week that makes you happy.